Hello and welcome to Abntv newspaper review of today. I am Ifeoluwa Adesoya and my colleague.
I am Kenny Afolabi.
Here with me, I have the Tribune newspaper and the Guardian newspaper. First of all, I will venture into the Tribune newspaper. 2027, why opposition coalition leaders will soon be torn apart presidency. The presidency has predicted that the newly formed opposition coalition ahead of the 2027 elections will soon be consumed by internal conflict as a result of irreconcilable personal ambitions amongst its key leaders. According to a statement issued Thursday by Bayo Ononuga, Special Advisor on Information and Strategy to President Bola Tinubu, the coalition is a fragile alliance held All Progressive Congress, APC, and are merely using the African Democratic Congress, ADC, as a platform to regain political relevance. Ononuga warns that the coalition's lack of a unifying ideology or agenda will make it unsustainable, arguing that its members are motivated not by the national interest but by desperation to escape political obscurity. The full details of this news story is in the Tribune newspaper. Over to you, Kenny.
Here with me, I have the Punch newspaper and I have the Vanguard newspaper. Firstly, we are going to venture into the Punch newspaper. More civil servants lack relevant skills, says federal government. The Federal Civil Service Commission has said that the real problem with civil service lies in skills mismatch and industrialization and not overstating. The chairman of this Federal Civil Service Commission, Professor Tinju Benga, disclosed this in Abuja on Wednesday as the Commission first ever strategy plan unveiling and during a 3-day retreat held from June 30 to July 2, 2025. Ola Okpa said, Nigeria has a proof of workers' maturity of which skills are no longer required are therefore redundant. He said, if we benchmark the workloads of the Federal Civil Service against other countries, you will find that workers' force is actually small. Most civil servants lack relevant skills, says federal government. The full details of this story is inside the Punch newspaper for today. Over to you, Ifeoluwa.
Still on coalition. Coalition, no one group can change Nigeria alone, Peter Obi. Peter Obi, a former presidential candidate under the Labour Party, has emphasized the importance of collective action in driving change in Nigeria. According to him, no single group can transform the country alone, and building bridges is essential to dismantle structures that perpetuate poverty and insecurity. Obi made this assertion on Thursday after a coalition of opposition's leaders formally adopted the African Democratic Congress, ADC, for the 2027 general elections. The coalition aims to provide a competent, capable, and compassionate leadership that prioritizes the welfare of Nigerians. The ADC has appointed distinguished Senator David Mark as its national chairman and HE Ogbeni Waruf Aregbesola as its national secretary. Obi emphasized that the decision to adopt the ADC was made after the deep reflection on Nigeria's current state and the need for collective action to drive change. The full details of this story is in the Tribune newspaper. Over to you, Kenny.
Another story here with me in the Punch newspaper for today. NMA gives federal government 21 days to avert doctor strike. The Nigerian Medical Association has issued a 21 days ultimatum to the federal government to meet its demand and it to affect industrial actions in the health sector. This association, in a press conference in Abuja on Wednesday, expressed disappointment and condemned the circular on the constitutional advancement of allowance under the consolidated medical salary structures for medical and dental practitioners in Nigeria. A copy of the speech of the NMA president, Professor Bola Adu, made available to our correspondents and noted that the association rejected the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commissions circularly on June 2027, 2025, and the review allowance for the medical and dental officers in the federal public services. Professor Adu said the circular from the NSWC violated previous collective bargaining agreements with the government, and adding that the recent developments bad worsen around assisting tensions among doctors and had remained commitment to serving in Nigeria despite ongoing challenges. NMA gives federal government 21 days to avert doctor strike. The full details of this story is inside the Punch newspaper for today. Over to you, Ifeoluwa.
Moving to the last story on Tribune newspaper. I invested in my children instead of building houses or Gabelu. With over 6 decades in film industry, veteran filmmaker Adebayo Salami, popularly known as Oga Bello, remains one of the most respected and enduring figures among his peers. A proud father of 18 children, Salami began his acting journey in 1964 with the Young Concert Party, a theater group led by the legendary Ojo Ladipo, also known as Baba Mero. In this exclusive interview with Rotimi Ige, he opens up about his latest cinema project. Her Excellency reflects on his remarkable 60-year journey in Nollywood and shares how his dedication to his children have yielded lasting rewards. Let me just say, it's God's design. I never thought of letting any of my children take after me. The education you are talking about, I am very passionate about education. Unfortunately, I did not get the support from my parents because of the level, but I had it in mind that all my children must be educated, even if it's attainment of at least to get the first degree. By the time I met myself as a polygamist, I have had it in mind that I don't want to leave any properties for my children. I need just 2 houses, one in Lagos and one in my hometown. If you meet any money in my account, share it. I am passionate about education. The full details of this story is in the Tribune newspaper. Over to you, Ken.
Another story here with me, the Punch newspaper for today. Nigeria must review 2025 budget to avert crisis, MMF warns. Nigeria's fiscal outlook for 2025 is under serious threat, according to the International Monetary Fund, which has warned that the country must urgently revise its budget targets or face a deepening financial crisis. The MMF latest article, IMF Consultations, report that, released on Wednesday, points to a significant risk of Nigeria exceeding its fiscal deficit projection for the year and driven by a combination of failing oil prices and lower production levels and challenges in capital expenditure executions. It called on the Nigerian authority to take immediate actions to recalibrate the country's fiscal policies and budget expectations to reflect the current economic realities. This report read, ensuring that the fuel subsidy savings accrue to the government would yield to the proposed natural stance, and the full year savings are estimated at 2% of GDP. If the savings are not realized, stating HC to 2025, and given that the policy reforms under consideration are not expected to deliver significant revenue gains in 2025. Nigeria must review 2025 budget to avert crisis, MAF warned Nigerians. The full details of these stories is inside the Punch newspaper for today. Over to you, Ifeoluwa.
Moving on to Guardian newspaper. Why more Nigerians are turning to golden terra oil? The average Nigerian market is a theater of colors, scents, and voices. From the lively banter of traders to the glittering rows of bottles and sachets jostling for attention, every corner promises something new. In this daily spectacle of choice, cooking oil remains one of the most contested categories. Shoppers, armed with shopping lists and personal preference, pause before house, filled with promises of purity, affordability, and health. Still, among all the noise and choices, one brand has steadily become a trusted fixture in Nigerian homes: golden terra oil. Made from 100% pure soya oil, golden terra oil is steadily winning hearts, not by shouting the loudest, but by delivering on what matters most to Nigerians' families: health, taste, and trust. In a time when rising health concerns like hypertension and high cholesterol are reshaping conversations about what we eat, more Nigerians are making the conscious shift towards oil with proven nutritional benefits. Rich in polyunsaturated fatty acids, known for lowering bad cholesterol and supporting heart health. Golden terra oil is one of the few everyday cooking staples backed by nutritional science and loved by preserving the original flavors of Nigerian dishes. Alongside, it boasts essential nutrients like mufa and vitamin E, ensuring that health-conscious eating never has to come at the cost of culinary tradition. What do you say to this story?
It is also pertaining to budget incomes, Abi.
Not really budgeting incomes. Like, we need to be very selective when it comes to oil. No, health
Okay,
is
subsidy of oil.
yes, health is very very important. That when you want to select oil, you don't just take any oil that is not pure,
Okay.
any oil that doesn't have.
So how do we then know that this one is not pure, or this one is fake, or this one is real?
No, you cannot just buy. No, you have to know, because you can't just buy. There's some oil that you buy that is not well labeled. Like this golden terra oil now, it is well labeled. It has NAFDAC number. And you can see that it is stated there that it is polyunsaturated oil, and it is known for lowering bad cholesterol and supporting heart health. Golden terra oil is one of the few everyday cooking staples. Like, it's lower bad cholesterol. You know that some oil, even generally, oil is not too good for the body system.
Yes.
That is why you have to be very selective when it comes to oil. There's some oil that might damage your body system because of the high rate of cholesterol. And high rate of cholesterol can destroy.
But we
the
can't
health.
do without the oil.
Yes, you can't do with that, but you have to be very selective. That's why I'm saying that when you want to select oil, you have to be very mindful. You have to be very careful, vigilant when selecting. There's some oil that you don't see that is not red, anyhow oil that you don't buy that is not well labeled, that doesn't have NAFDAC number.
Okay.
So it has to indicate NAFDAC number, because it is traceable. If anything happens,
We're able to trace the
yes,
complaint.
trace the complaint. And no bad cholesterol, it can affect when it comes to BP, kidney issues, the lungs, and the body weight. So we need to be very, very vigilant when selecting oil.
May God help us.
Amen.
So another story here with me now, we've been to the Vanguard newspaper. Our coalition into ADC will strengthen APC ahead of 2027, says Kayamo. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, FIBA, Kayamo, said, has described developments of the top opposition figures into the African Democratic Congress, ADC, as a development that has significantly strengthened the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, ahead of 2027 general elections. What happens earlier today with the movements of the so-called coalition into the ADC is the greatest factors that has strengthened the APC ahead of the 2027 elections. And Kayamo said in a statement on Wednesday, he argued that the public alignments with the ADC constituents are effective abandonments of the individuals or regular parties, and warning that such cross-parties affiliation are unconstitutional. By law, you cannot operate from or to belong to two or multiple political parties, he said. So it is a safe to say that their open declarations of ADC today is a clear abandonment of their previous parties. In fact, belonging of two political parties is a ground for disqualifications of any elections. Kayamo said the emergency of the ADC in its new form marked the former displacement of the PDP, which he described as a fatal Nigeria's strongest opposition party. The majority of the old guard in the PDP, who had apparently lost control of the party, have been pushed out, but the younger parties demand. He claimed that the majority of the have been pushed out, but the younger parties demand. The majority who had apparently lost control of the party have been pushed out by the younger trucks. That is why the gathering today was enclosement of former this and former that, and of the PDP. No matter how you look at, this is just articles factions of PDP in desperate stage of 2027 elections. Our coalition into ADC will strengthen APC ahead of 2027 elections. May God help us with this election of this 2027 oncoming elections. With these issues of the PDP and the ADC.
Coalitions.
Okay. So over to you, Fabio.
Okay. So moving on to the second story on Guardian newspaper. Mohbad, court dismisses father's bid to crush legal advice on Naira Marley live. Justice Taiwo Olatokun of Lagos High Court sitting in Ikeja yesterday dismissed an application filed by Joseph Aloba, father of the late singer Ilerioluwa Aloba, popularly known as Mohbad, seeking to crush the legal advice and court proceedings that cleared music executive Azeez Fashola, aka Naira Marley, and promoter Samson Balogun, aka Sam Larry, of any involvement in his son's death. Delivering judgments, Justice Olatokun held that the powers of Attorney General of Lagos State to prosecute or not to prosecute are absolute and cannot be questioned. Aloba, through his counsel, Dr. Wahab Shitu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, filed the application on behalf of the family against the Attorney General of Lagos State and the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, who were listed as respondents. Shitu argued that the DPP's legal advice, which exonerated Naira Marley and Sam Larry, preempted the ongoing coroner's inquest to Mohbad's death and failed to offer a fair hearing to all concerned. He further submitted that individuals implicated in the inquest were cleared prematurely, even as the coroner's proceedings were still ongoing. You see, this judgment is very critical. The story is very, very critical.
Is it the story of Daddy Mohbad? I
Mohbad,
think the story has dead done. Why
no,
did they bring it on
No, it
again?
has not. The courts, the judgment is still proceeding.
They still want to know the exactly thing that's happened.
Yes,
the death of this Mohbad.
yes, they want to know what happened. They want to. What I'm saying is that Nigerians too, they really want to know. They really want to get justice for Mohbad. They really want to get justice for him. The father, all of them, they want to get justice for him. So they want to get to know the roots of the matter. I don't think the matter is ready to die down at any moment. As I'm saying it, it's being prolonged and to continue to prolong till they get to the roots of the matter. And that's on Nigeria, like the VDM is trying by all means to get to the roots of the matter. And some other activists, they want to get to the roots of the matter. That is why the court case is still ongoing.
Just to know that justice for Mohbad.
Yes.
Okay. So another story here with me in the Vanguard newspaper. OPC to support customs in boosting security, says Gani Adams. The array of Obakankafo of Yoruba land, Iba Gani Adams, has expressed the readiness of the Odua People's Congress, OPC, to collaborate with the Nigeria's Customs Service to ensure adequate security in their operations. This is coming as the Custom Areas Controller in charge of some area command, Dr. Benedict Oramagun, has told that the leadership qualities of this Controller General of Custom Adewale Adeni is saying that he is questioning to the service for greater efficiency. Adams made the remarks during the latest visit in his Lagos yesterday. Adam, in his remarks, expressed delight in his receiving the emphasized that he was open to collaborate with his customs in any capacity to ensure adequate security within the command. He expressed gratitude to the controller for the support of the customs services and gifts to Olokun Festival Foundations during the annual Olokun Festival. And speaking on the recent appointments of Adeniyi as the chairperson of the World Customs Organization WCO, Council Iba Adams noted that the recognition was a testimony to the outstanding leadership the CGC has been providing for the services, and he prayed that to have a successful and impactful time as the controller of this some command, who said he had permission of the CG to conduct the visit and stressed that its purpose was to seek the collaboration of all stakeholders within its jurisdiction on the issues of this security along the other communities. The controller said the CG was committed to assuring that custom officers operated efficiently, enforcing the laws of the land and ensuring that no form of illegal business activities were carried out within his command. OPC to support custom in boosting security, says Gani Adams. This all is all about security. So the OPC also has put their own total support to fuel with their security, the forces, the policemen. So they put their support for them to
they are
just
coming
join
together as full task force.
Yes. So they are putting their own full support to support this security force. So over to you, Fiolua.
Okay. Moving to the last story on the Guardian newspaper review of today. Two social media influencers convicted for abusing Naira notes in Ibadan. Justice Uche Agomo of the Federal High Court in Ibadan, Oyo State, has convicted two social media influencers, Bukola Arike Rufai and Abdulateef Ayinde Jumo, for abusing Naira notes. The duo were prosecuted by the Ibadan Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on a joint one-count charge bordering on currency mutilation. According to the charge, that you, Bukola Arike Rufai, and Abdulateef Ayinde Jimoh on or about 25th day of September 2024 within the jurisdiction of this honorable court did mishandle naira notes issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria and thereby committed an offence contrary to section 21(3) of the Central Bank Act 2007 and punishable under section 21 of the same act. In a statement signed by the EFCC head of media and publicity, Dele Oyewale, both defendants pleaded guilty to the charge. Following their plea, the prosecuting counsel, Lanre Sulaiman, revealed the facts of the case and presented evidence, including a video showing the convict spraying and stepping on naira notes. He held the court to convict and sentence them accordingly. However, defense counsel O.D. Ajadi pleaded for leniency, stating that the convicts were first-time offenders who had shown remorse for their actions. How do you see to this story? When it comes to
Stepping on naira notes.
laws in Nigeria, we need to be very careful. Citizens, there are laws in Nigeria, and we need to abide to the rules and to the laws guiding this country. If not, one will just find his or herself in an implicated manner.
Is it because they are stepping the naira notes and they are spraying on it?
Spraying
and stepping on it.
Spraying the money, I don't know, not because they were spraying the money and stepping on it. It's as if they abuse the naira notes. Okay. The EFCC, they have set standards of rules and in which we need to follow. We need to abide. We need to abide by the rules. So that is what caused. So
they are taking them to prison now. Are they sentencing them?
But so there's someone that is trying to plead for them that they feel remorseful for their actions. I don't know if they're going to bail them or maybe I don't know what is going to happen. But he held the court to convince and sentence them accordingly, according to what is stated here. So we need to be very, very mindful. We need to be very careful. We need to be very vigilant when spraying money. We should not spray it wisely because this EFCC, they are watching and you don't know who and again we don't know who will take the video to them. So we need to be very, very careful. That's what I see in this case.
So another story here with me, which is the lastly story here with me. Arrest growing youth unemployment, Madumere charges federal government. The former deputy governor of Imo State, Prince Eze Madumere, has called on the federal government to urgently address the escalating youth unemployment crisis across the country. And speaking with journalists in Owerri, the Imo State capital, Madumere urged the government to implement effective mechanisms to betterize the civil service by leveraging accurate data and statistics. He emphasized that such measure would aid in proper planning and seamless retirement process and unbiased recruitment of qualified personnel. Madumere lamented that over 80 million Nigerian youths are currently unemployed and stressed that the need for the government to tackle insecurity and revive moribund industries and support industrialists with soft loans and create an enabling environment to attract foreign investments. And decrying the growing numbers of these ideal youths, he urged the government to instill practical skills and revive technical education and make soft loans available to young entrepreneurs to enable them start and sustain their businesses. The time has come for serious commitment to enhancing youth creativity through rural and sustainable skill development. He stated that the youth must be supported, empowered, and given a clear roadmap to the future. Leaders must be sincere and relaxed. As the youth are the leaders of tomorrow, we must show the light for them to find the way. Arrest growing youth unemployment, Madumere charges federal government. Can you see that this is a very fantastic question? This man is a very strong man. Stand that he must support these youths. So he's accusing the federal government to just find a way for this unemployment. They are just graduating year by year without no jobs.
Without no jobs.
So
Now everybody are now venturing
so it's
into
time permanent
skills acquisition
just
right now because
federal government to just find a solution for these unemployment issues in Nigeria.
the rate of job employment in Nigeria now is very
Very
high.
critical.
Nigerians are really looking for job. It's not easy. In fact,
And
you will
youths
see
are
you will
graduating.
see a graduate, you will say master. Now everybody that even graduated from BSc is now
Driving
they're not looking up to like master. Maybe they will be able to get a job. After that, they will not. So I'll even see someone that's a PhD holder and he hasn't gotten a job yet. You see a graduate venturing into riding bike just to make money, you know, because they cannot just sit down without doing nothing. Now everybody is now business owners.
Without no job.
Everybody is now business owners. Everyone is now venturing into so many skills. Like you say, anywhere belle face.
That's right.
Yes, anywhere they find themselves. Yes, just to meet ends meet. So it is well. It's becoming too much. I've even seen someone that said she's not interested in school.
Again?
Yes.
When there's no job?
No, that she hasn't gotten admission. Though she has tried admission like 3 times. When she sees her elderly ones, like the brother, they graduated with first class and they have not gotten a job yet, she does say she give up. I said, no, your one can be different from theirs. Like, no, she's not going to school. Let me just go and learn hairdressing. Let me go and learn catering just to be a CEO of my own. They are not that, yes, I have a job. That instead of graduating, spending 4 5 years, that instead of her spending 4 5 years in school
without no job,
that she will just transfer it to skills acquisition and to build herself. But still, education is very important. Education is not a scam. That's what I said. Education is not a scam. But I just make sure that the government finds something to do about this
situation.
unemployment.
Very much. So anyone left with you?
Not at all.
So that's what we have for now. This is a part review. If you'd like to watch the live on the rest on our website page, on our social media page, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. On our Facebook, you can click and follow us, like, share, comment, and make sure to subscribe and click on Abntv OSUN. And we also have our YouTube. You can like, share, comment, and make sure to subscribe and comment. And click on Abntv Nigeria as well. And on Twitter, you can follow us on Abntv OSUN. And lastly, on our Instagram, you can follow us, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click on Abntv Nigeria as well. And for those of you that are using TikTok, you can also follow us on Abntv Nigeria as well. My name is Kenny Afolabi. And my co-colleagues here.
Ifeoluwa Adesanya.
So thanks for listening and thanks for watching. Bye for now.